right, we are in for a treat today. 5 colors, 2 brushes. Yes, we did all of the detailing with a 6. This guy's been done in 2 steps, base coat and dry brush only. Turned out amazing considering. And this guy has had a little bit more TLC and some glazing on the great big brush. And that's it. Turned out really well, both of them considering. These are from Trench Crusade, which is a new game. They had a very successful Kickstarter. I think these minis are cool, so we're painting them. If you're also interested, then help us get this video to 50,000 views in the first couple of weeks. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. We do like simple, practical painting advice. Always try and keep it education-led. If we hit 50,000 views, I'll paint a faction, whatever a faction is called in this game. I need to do my research, and maybe I'll even play some games with it. But yeah, let us know about that. Best comment or suggestion on, the painting technique you'd like, the faction you'd like to see, whether you want to see it fast or slow, me going like full level or like just practical, get it on the table level. You want to see me cover it in gore or enamels. I've kept this one simple. It's just acrylics, and it's just these acrylics and some dry brushing and glazing. Got some little assembly tips coming up as well briefly. Feel free to skip through those if you don't need them, but that's how we lay down this rusty texture here, and it's how we fix some of my assembly mistakes. But let us know what you'd like to see. The best suggestion, the most liked suggestion, and we'll send you a texture palette if you're choosing, a brush set if you're choosing, and one of our eggs. I'm not going to shove them down your throat, but they are amazing. It's our new painting handle, and it's just made it a real pleasure to paint the chunky guys. Not dropped it once, which is something considering that I'm completely jet lagged. All right, thank you very much for all your support, and yeah, let us know what Trench Crusade you would like to see next. I'm just going to glue a piece of thin card in under his head because it's going to raise the height of his helmet slightly. And that's just going to mean that his eyes are not, I want them just to be a tiny bit higher in there. Like that. I'm using what was medium super glue, but it's very, very old, so it's now probably in the realms of thick. And there's pluses and minuses to thick and thin. Thin will run into gaps beautifully, but also run down your models. And thick is a little bit more faffy to play around with, but also if you need something to kind of build up a physical blob, a bit like putty, thick is much better at that. Just going to pick which way he's facing. This is the money shot here. Absolute swag. I just prefer it with the head at that angle. I think it makes a real difference. Let's do some work. A little bit of super glue spill. So he's going to have a rusty bit there and here. And then I want to fill this in because actually, after I overglued my first one, I think it looked really cool when this bit was rusty. Very easy application. Put it in. I'll brush it away a little bit, but finger has done. So for this, I'm just popping some texture paint in the recess because I think it'll look better. And then it's like literally finger paint it off. I've popped it down here because I had a little bit of a messy drip of super glue. And rather than fix it by sanding it, I thought, why not? Let's just lean into the fact that I've said you can do this. We'll roll with it. So yeah, if your assembly doesn't go perfect, don't worry about it, especially if you're new to building minis or anything like that. Don't worry. It's all good. We'll just put some basing texture there. It'll be absolutely fine. And I might pick a couple of other key areas on the model to do it in as well, because I think it looks kind of cool. As long as you clean your brush, you don't have to worry about using this, but see, I've got it, it's literally on like the top 10% of a very big brush, so you have nothing to worry about. And this is how it'll end up, all cracked and gnarly looking. Good news is this is under the primer, so it'll get sealed on by the primer, which is really convenient. Fuzz it out with some water. Done. It's just that easy. I'm actually just going to do a little bit more around these pipes because I think it would be cool if it looks like we've got some corrosion here. Heavy corrosion, because why not? So again, similar application. I'm just going to blob it on in the general area. And then I'll use my finger, maybe my wetted brush. Finger is best. Not much you cannot achieve with a licked finger. Hair dry that, and then we are going to be good to go. You can see it's already done fantastic work on the back there. Okay, so we're going to be keeping it simple for this one. We've got Hydra Blue, Abaddon Black. Doesn't matter too much which black you use as long as it's not matte black. That's quite important. And then a very strong silver. So I've used these 3. And if you want, you can involve a little bit of brown or something like that, just kind of according to taste. We're coming from brown base though, and that was just black mixed with Bird Bearer's red. So very, very simple, pretty much 4 colors at this point. Let's give it a go. So dampening pad, 1 drop of water off the back of the brush. I'm using a medium here, and I'm going to be trying to use the same brush from start to finish. A little bit of moisture there, that's going to keep our dry brushing smooth if you are new to the channel. So let's go. The silver is extremely strong. We're only going to need a tiny, tiny amount of it to achieve quite a lot. And the black's what's going to keep it in check. Start somewhere that we know we want it bright, and then we're just going to gently build things up. And this is going to take time. All the areas that we know we want to be the brightest, like the kind of shelf on his armor in front of his face. There we go. Build up like this, and then when we're a little bit more confident, we should be able to do some kind of like buffing circles. I'll get to that point shortly. What these will do is they'll steadily pick out the areas that stick out the most. They would also be the areas that would be the most shiny. So as we get to kind of following steps, that technique will be more and more useful. Now though, we're just looking to pretty much hit everywhere apart from the recesses. And then again, with the buffing motions, little circles, you should be able to do this keeping it smooth, using good dry brushes and just a little bit of brush kind of setup on the palette and patience. And we're going to buff up this guy all the way. We can get stuff to a really, really cool point. You can always wash this down afterwards with a wash or even just a paint. Might use our black. We'll keep going all over. Final point, you chainmail only top to bottom. Just got to build it up like the light's hitting it from the top, and we won't get that if we just kind of buff it. So we want to go top to bottom. Using an egg here, so tilt it around whatever angle helps you get in there. You'll get this really realistic kind of shiny feel to things. Rather than just simply going back for more paint quite frequently, I'll just go back for a little bit more water, reawaken what's in there. Be careful on the first stroke because it'll do that. You get streaking or something. So touch it somewhere else first and then resume. That's going to make sure you don't cake up your brush with excess paint, and it'll also keep things smooth. Okay, so it's literally just repeat, repeat, repeat all over. You're doing the same step. Take your time, little circles, buff it up. If anywhere goes too heavy, just kind of be careful and persevere through, take some paint off, carry on going. Take note not to put too much paint on the brush at the same time. See, I'm just sneaking it off sideways in little bits, then I take it elsewhere, make my mix. It's not about caking your brush up heavily. So when we're at this point, what do we do next? Now, it's not like we're going to leave caution behind, especially now that we're getting to kind of brighter colors. We are going to be pretty much doing the same though. We'll just be more selective about where we put it. So increasing the amount of silver. All the areas that are reflecting the light, you can very helpfully just tell by holding on model under the light. Going to be the helmet, top of the shelf, stuff like that. We're going to spend some more time on those, bringing those up until they're significantly brighter. I'll just do his shelf. The shoulder up too. And they should start looking very shiny. You can see this kind of little window of him there, really starting to take shape. It won't take that long. You're actually putting down an incredible amount of detail given the time. When it comes to the chainmail, again, just a load of discipline, top to bottom it, only on the downstroke, and just keep repeating. This will catch his little butt armor plate as well, and then we can do some buffing around there. But the chainmail, only from the top. You can see this, look at the kind of history that we're putting into the piece now. Trying to hit the bits that stick out top of his calves. So it's just this, when in doubt, buff it out. Don't rush. Good brush, take your time, use the dampening pad. Do not overload the brush. That will be the major mistake. And test it, because that will help you know if you've made a mistake before you get to the model. He's looking so good. So fast as well. That's pretty much in. You could do some smaller stipples if you wanted to bring special attention to any particular area. And then just soften them by buffing them out. It's up to you if you want to make one area particularly bright or not. But there we go. That's pretty much 2 steps, which is incredible. Easy. So how to get from this to this? Now we can already see some kind of pretty beautiful hints of what's going on here. And we're just looking to enhance this effect of it, going towards a really grimy version of the metallic, which isn't metallic at all, which isn't shiny. Take a look at this guy's thigh plate. I think that's a really good example. We've got it between one that's had some glazing and one that hasn't. So I'm just going to bring it up through a very simple sequence of colors. You can do this pretty fast actually, and you can use less dilution as you go without really getting punished because you're shrinking the area. So I'm going to show you what we've done. Up to you, you know, spend as long or not on these as you want to, and you can actually be more efficient by leaving more of the base coat and dry brushing more sparingly with a silver as well, or using a darker silver or putting more of the brown in the silver or something like that. Anyway, let's have a little look on his thigh pad. You do not need a small brush. Got the 6 here, and it's up to you. You can mix between like a dark brown and an orange and just do a couple of colors. You could do 4, you could do more. Again, just suit it to how long you want to spend on it. Maybe give it a go and see if you're enjoying it, because I think that's the really important thing, isn't it, really? Now, if you're using something like Troll Slayer, I've chosen Troll Slayer because it's got poopy coverage. It's very pure orange. There's not anything else going in it, really. Not anything that's going to boost its coverage anyway. You could use something like that, which would be utterly different. Not necessarily in color, but it's strong. Water on our brush. It's not saturated. I've licked it. We can take some of the water off, however you prefer. Like I said, literally using a 6 here, putting it inside the brush. Tests gone well. And then do one first that's like too timid and too weak. Control where I end it. I'm going to end around the rivet. All right. So my brush is a bit too wet, but my dilution is good. So all I need to do there is get rid of some. That's the first stage. Don't worry if your first stage doesn't do much. Each stage after the first, it gets easier. Your glazing wants to go on top of other glazing. Once you put one step down, things they speed up and they'll work a little bit better too. So after your first step, maybe feeling a little bit more brave, make it a bit stronger. Still test it though, always test. And push up into here. You can shrink the area if you want. So, you know, shrink that zone. But I'm just gonna look to build it up kind of steadily. And I'm recruiting the information off how it went, and that information makes me think I could be a little bit braver on this side. If you've got a hairdryer to hand, you can use that to speed things up. I've been being too timid, but now here we go. These are making a lot more of a difference. Anywhere it goes too much, just wipe it off. Get your finger painting on the go. So now we got the mix right, things are going to go faster. You can see we've already made quite a big difference. Even if you could show a then and now, made a big difference. We're shrinking our zone. Pull it anywhere where you want. And apart from where we dropped a ton of it, it's already drying. Always think about where you end and end like this. Straight up, 90 degrees. Don't just flop it over or gently bring it up. Bring it up aggressively, and that'll leave the dot exactly where you planned on leaving the dot, which is very, very important. All right, and then just repeat. So I could be making it stronger now and being a little bit braver, but pretty much good. And that's it for the back. So we'll just build up through that. Hopefully you can see now, looking at this guy, how we've selectively picked that bit of his leg pauldron. Someone correct me, please. What's that? Thigh plate? Now same brush, take a bit of the brown. Now we're doing it in a smaller area. Same again though. The more of the model you're doing of this, the less the kind of drying time works. So if you're doing multiple areas, by the time, you know, your last one's finished, your first one will be dry, kind of speeds it up. You'll just be scooting around, kind of tinkering or pushing into things like exaggerate your rivets or whatever else it is. And it's up to you where you do it. You know, you can, anything that you feel like it's a bit of a shame that you filled in, you can dot, you can kind of reestablish. Very important to get the right angle, not necessarily only to be able to place the paint down, to be able to see where you're placing it here. Like he's casting himself in shadow a bit, it's not particularly helpful. So being able to tip it back. And my hand is on the table with the egg. Super comfy. Really, really making the most of having the painting handle. Through to our next one. Didn't clean the brush fully. It's a bit like dry brushing. We've still got all our previous colors in there. So test it, don't be too impatient. So this is where you really start adding proper feeling of age in there. And while we're here, of course, anywhere where we want to catch some, we can pop it back in. We dot your rivets again afterwards, and you can definitely dry brush after doing this. If you've covered over the top of something, if it's something that sticks out, it's really easy to specifically hit it. If you use a hairdryer, obviously that's going to make your mini warm. That speeds it up exponentially. It'd be like seconds. You know, it would already be dry now if the mini was warm or if the weather was warm or dry. Grab the orange. Big fat 6 still absolutely fine. Test and then dot it around the rivet. Dot it in the bottom of these. It would be running downwards. Who knows what angle his armor is stored at, but you know, a little bit of creative license there. The eggs are wonderful for this. And the size 6 is wonderful for this. Maybe not what people would think. So that's it there. And that is how you do that. Super flexible. And the big areas as well, you know, you can use your big fat brush sideways and it's going to do so much work, or you can even dot it in areas like that. Ultimate flexibility. All about the tip. Huge boy. If you'd like more on this type of technique on the Trench Crusade models, just let me know what techniques you guys want to see, what things you struggle with. Is it the idea of the weathering? Do you want to see streaking grime? Do you want to see villainy inks? What do you want to see that I can help you with that will make you more confident in the painting of these pretty cool minis, especially the chunky guys? Just gotta love them, haven't you? And do you want to see one in olive? I know that's the normal scheme, but I just love my metallics.